Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating. A piece of software that takes something as messy and chaotic as industrial wood waste and turns it into a clean, valuable, and totally verifiable digital asset.
So, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the big problem this whole thing is trying to solve. Then, we'll introduce the software concept itself. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of its 5-layer architecture, see it in action, and finally, take a peek at what the future holds.
All right, let's jump right in. To really get this, we first have to understand the fundamental challenge. You've got this huge gap, this massive disconnect between messy, totally unpredictable construction waste on one side and the super precise, high-quality material that the new bioeconomy is crying out for on the other.
And this slide just nails the paradigm shift. Look at the difference. The old way, the haul and dump model, treats wood waste as a physical liability. It's a chaotic mess, and the only goal is to get rid of it. But in the new model, refine and monetize, that same wood becomes a verifiable asset. The process is precise, and the goal? Well, it's right there in the name, monetization.
So, how in the world do you bridge that gap we were talking about? The answer lies in a concept called the digital refinery.
Now, what's so cool about this definition is what it's not. This isn't a physical building with smokestacks. No, the digital refinery is a full-stack software system. Its whole job is to take raw, unpredictable stuff like a pile of wood waste and refine it into a digital product that's structured, totally auditable, and actually valuable.
Okay, let's pop the hood and get to the core of this thing. We're going to walk through the 5 distinct software layers that basically act as a digital assembly line, making this whole transformation happen.
Everything kicks off right at the source, the actual job site. Layer 1 is the intake module. You can think of it like an AI-powered bouncer running on a smartphone. It's the compliance gatekeeper, making that first absolutely critical decision.
And it makes that call, is this wood clean or treated, in less than 2 seconds. And get this, it does it right on the device. No internet connection needed. That is a huge deal, because construction sites are notorious for being cellular dead zones.
So once the wood is accepted, Layer 2, the logistics core, takes over. This is what manages the physical journey of all that material. It uses a really efficient hub-and-spoke system to bring order to the chaos, routing everything to central hubs for processing.
Now, Layer 3 is where it gets really smart. This is the compliance engine. It's the automated brain of the whole operation, handling all the painfully complex stuff like chain of custody tracking and regulatory paperwork.
It does this using a powerful AI technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. The best way to think of it is as an AI lawyer. It grounds every single decision it makes in hard facts, pulling from actual source documents like government regulations, so every action is backed by a citation. It's totally auditable. And this AI lawyer is built for speed. The backend uses tools like Alloy DB AI's vector search, which makes these complex compliance checks a staggering 10 times faster than doing it the old-fashioned way. That's a massive performance boost. All right, on to Layer 4. This is where the data finally turns into dollars. The financial module connects that physical asset, now fully verified, to the invoice. This is where value gets created by avoiding fees and even generating things like carbon removal certificates. And here's the real bottom line. By having that digital proof, users can completely sidestep some pretty hefty landfill taxes. We're talking about things like this projected $60 per ton levy. That's real money being saved, a direct financial reward for doing things the right way. And finally, Layer 5. If there's even a shadow of a doubt, this is the final quality check. The scientific validation layer uses serious industrial-grade sensors like X-ray fluorescence to hunt for hidden chemical contaminants, things like arsenic and chromium, to provide the ultimate definitive proof of purity. So, all those layers bring us to what is easily the system's most futuristic application, putting real intelligence, true reasoning power right there at the edge, in the hands of the user.
But this brings up a really fundamental question. Can you really trust what a simple camera sees? A standard phone camera can't see invisible chemicals. This creates something called the gray wood problem.
The solution is just brilliant. It's a multimodal, agentic workflow. So the AI doesn't just see the wood. The camera might say, yep, looks clean. But it also hears the driver dictate a voice note saying, tearing down a 20-year-old deck. The AI agent processes both of these inputs simultaneously, and it thinks, hold on, A 20-year-old deck is high risk for chemical treatment. It detects a conflict between what it sees and what it hears, and bam, it overrides the visual analysis and instantly flags the load for that mandatory scientific screening. It's making a smarter, safer call, right on the spot.
And what's just wild is that this entire complex industrial workflow can be kicked off with something you use every day, a simple photo sent over WhatsApp.
So where does it go from here? Well, the whole system is built to be a platform, a foundation for constant innovation.
And the team is already dreaming up what's next. Things like smart bins with sensors that call for their own pickup when they're full, using blockchain to create a totally unchangeable digital twin and chain of custody. And even this idea of agile pyrolysis, using mobile units that check market data to cook up whatever bioproduct is the most profitable to create on any given day.
And this quote really, truly gets to the heart of it all. The goal isn't just about moving trash around more efficiently. It's about transmuting or transforming that physical liability into a clean, verified, and most importantly, trusted stream of data.
You know, this whole explainer really shows how industrial compliance can be flipped from a cost center into a value-generating asset. And that leaves us with one final, pretty big thought. If this model can turn a dumpster into a database, what other waste out there is really just a data problem waiting to be solved?